Hey guys, this is Mel, and I'm back to talk about the 100, episode 402, titled Heavy Lies the Crown, which premiered Wednesday, February 8th, 2017 on the CW. And guys, what an episode, but quick reminder, huge spoiler alert, so if you haven't watched the episode first, go do that now, and then come back and see what I have to say about the episode after I've watched it for the first time. Also, quick reminders are on screen about how I do my videos, but with that said, let's start the 10-minute clock, and let's begin with what happened in this episode. So timeline wise, guys, it's been officially 9 days since the City of Light was destroyed. We get this through the flashback set 9 days ago, with Ilion killing his family while under the influence of Ali, and then we see the moment that Ali's control over him goes away. So 9 days, but it has been 2 days for the delinquents at brainstorming within Arcadia for a solution to defeat the radiation situation they're dealing with. So an episode reminder though, I'm remembering it as a return to farm station. But an objective for the episode, you can say it's 2 points, since it's kind of, I'll get to it later, but really it's keeping Rowan in power is one, and then finding a hydro generator is the second one. And speaking of the two objectives, that leads us to two different storylines in this episode. So again, first one deals with keeping Rowan in power, which takes place in Polis, obviously. And then you get the second one being finding the hydro generator, which originated from Arcadia. So with the first storyline, dealing with the whole Polis story, you get Kane and Octavia warning Rowan about a challenge being set against him by the new ambassador, Raphael. From one of the new clans. I'll have the name of that up on screen because I have no idea how to say it. But in the end, Octavia kills Raphael. She sticks a knife through his ear and kills him really quickly. It's really brutal. But everyone thinks it's from a heart attack, since she cleaned up all the blood and the point of entry for the weapon. So there's that. Also, Echo is now in the know about Rowan's deal with Clark about Prime Fire happening again. For them, but she doubts it. So after the whole challenge was supposed to go down, and if Rowan won, he agreed to send Echo to Arcadia to see if, and in fact, Clark is trying to find a way to save all the Grounders as well as Sky Crew, instead of just saving themselves. Now for storyline number 2, when it has to deal with Arcadia, we find out that there are roughly 500 Arcadians left, or Sky Crew, if you will, and they come to realize, thanks to Monty, that their best option for them is to fix up Alpha Station and live within that, since they survived 97 years in space with situations that really parallel what they are going to experience with this whole nuclear radiation fluctuation thing. So with that though, they find that they need a hydro generator, so they're able to keep water going in Alpha Station, which leads them to Farm Station, which is stuck in the Ice Nation. Now Bellamy, Monty, Miller, Brian, and Harper go on this mission. On that we meet the Chief, that's what he's called, and Dakiva. They're killed by the end of the episode, just to say. But essentially, the storyline has come to a split road, where they either have to save the hydro generator and take it back to Arcadia, or they use the hydro generator to save the slaves that are within the reclaimed farm station. Bellamy makes the final choice to use the hydro generator to save the slaves, and they brought them back, so now they're without a hydro generator. Every Ice Nation or Ascada who was holding them slaves is dead, either by the bomb or by the slaves' hands. So there's that. But by the end of the episode, Clark tells the people the truth, and she gives hope for a solution, even though they don't have one just yet. And not only the people within the Arcadian walls know about the truth that there's Prime Fire is going to happen again. So last moments of the episode is Clark's speech to the people inside of Arcadia, Raven getting more volunteers to help fix up the ship, and then Bellamy and Clark making a promise to each other that they'll save as many as they can one day at a time, type of thing. So there is that. Tidbit, let's go into that. It looks like Octavia has a tattoo on her right shoulder. You kind of see it briefly when she's in the throne room. Again, Raphael was a new ambassador before Octavia killed him. It's already known, or it's already been stated, that Raven, Monty, and Harper know that Jasper tried to kill himself, as Jasper and Monty kind of confirmed it when they had their little exchange by the showers. So there's that. And we also know that Jasper can't sing on key, which is a little funny, but he does that a lot in this episode. So moving on to relationship status. Well, the episode opens up to Kane and Abby in bed together, having just slept with each other. So that's pretty surprised that that's how we see them for the first time. So I guess it's about time for them. Also, you get a little exchange about how the presence of Jake. Abby's kind of hesitant to wear Jake's ring around her neck, even though Kane doesn't mind because he knows that Jake will always be a part of Abby. So there's that. Also, with Miller and Brian, we see them again. We see Brian, who is still on the verge of healing from his attack back in the season 3 finale, and he's also grieving over Pike. And he's also he was the last surviving member of Farm Station before the trip there. But now, by the time they return, they're at odds with each other based off their differing views on how to deal with the slaves. Brian wanted to save the slaves. Miller wanted to save the hydro generators so that they could save themselves and their people. So that causes tension between them. We also see Harper showing her support towards Monty when they arrived at Farm Station for the first time, since Monty is from Farm Station. So there's that. And then we also see Bellamy showing his support to Clark as they both be leaders in their different sectors of things. So there is that. So moving on to what was the most shocking moment of the episode. First off, is the fact that Kane and Abby were found in bed together. It wasn't the fact that it was shocked that it happened. It was the fact that there was no lead up to it. It's just like, boom, episode starts, you see them in bed together. At first I thought it was a room that was very familiar to us because it's in Polis and everything. So it's just like, wait a minute, who could that possibly be? And then it clicks afterwards that, oh, they're both in Polis right now. So that was a surprise. Also, a weird, surprising moment for me was the fact that Clark knew Riley, who was one of the members of Farm Station that was a slave to Asgada. So I was kind of surprised by that. And then for a moment I thought, could they be related? But then I remembered that probably not, since there's no siblings among the ARC except for Bellamy and Octavia. So it was like, oh, there's something there, because Clark knew Riley enough to give him a hug when she found out that he was alive. So I'm looking forward to see what their history is together. So there's that. Hoping it has nothing to interfere with her and Bellamy, though. I'll say that now. But moving on to top 3 favorite moments. The first one has to be Monty realizing that Alpha Station would be their saving grace. It's just that moment of recollection for him where he's like, that whole light bulb moment. And then when he's telling Bellamy, Clark, and Raven about how they are just standing in their possible solution, it was just like a eureka moment that I really liked Monty having that. He had the spotlight on him at that moment, so that was great. Also, later on in the episode, I like that Monty has come a long way, because it might seem bad though, but he was thinking about preserving the hydro generator, because he did the numbers. It's either they save 25 slaves now, or they save 500 people back in Arcadia by keeping the generator intact. So it was just interesting to see how Monty's mind always works, and just see how he comes to these conclusions. And he's come a long way, for sure. And he's also one of my faves, so gotta give it to Monty. Second favorite moment has to be that Rowan's thoughts on how he, no matter what condition he's in, if he's being challenged, he has to be the one that fights the challenge. He has to be the one to fight his own battles. He won't take a champion to fight in his name. He'd rather do it than get someone else to do it, which I admire. I think that should always be the case. If someone is challenging you, then you should be the one to take the challenge, not have someone else act as a champion like his mother did. If you remember back in 304, his mother had challenged Lexa, and yet she forced her own son to take part in the battle in her place. So it's like, I like that Rowan was willing, despite his own physical state, he's willing to go through with it. Luckily, he didn't have to, but just saying. So my last favorite moment of the episode has to be the fact that we see Bellamy and Clark on many different occasions giving each other support, kind of helping each other go through and deal with the choices they have made in their situations. They don't, like with Bellamy making the choice to save the slaves instead of bringing the hydro generator back, and then with Clark having the choice of telling the people the version of the truth that she gave them as opposed to the full-on truth. It was interesting that they are still on the same page. I like seeing them work like this. So there's that. Let's go to top 3 peeve moments. I don't really have any peeves. That's all I really have to say. This episode was, I was okay with it. Like, it was great to see the different processes, get to see how we got to see the 2 different sectored stories going on. So there is that. But there's the timer. But let's move on to what moment will I remember most when I look back on this episode. The fact that we got to see Farm Station again. Granted, it was only like a corridor and like a little room, but it would have been interesting to see the rest of Farm Station. Ooh, I also forgot a tidbit though. We also found out that before Jaha became Chancellor, he was an engineer. Forgot about that. Okay, so anyways though, random questions. First one would be, won't the explosion set off within Ice Nation be viewed as an attack against them? And the fact that they've set free all these different slaves, won't King Roan and the other Asgadas view that as a move of an attack? I hope not, but I'm a little worried that it will. So there's that. Second is, was there really only one hydro generator on Farm Station? I can't believe that on a space station like the Ark, who had 12 different stations to it, I can't see how they only had one hydro generator to provide water for all 12 stations for 97 years. I would think they'd have like at least a few sections throughout the Ark to kind of divvy out the power, if that makes sense. So that's my one question there. My last question though is, will others continue to challenge Roan like Raphael planned to do? I hope not, but hopefully he'll be well enough that he can kick their butts if it came to that, but I guess we'll have to wait and see. Moving on to predictions though, based off the promo for 403, it looks like radiation sickness is going to start kicking in and affecting people. It also looks like time is running out for them, roughly 2 months if they don't do anything to stop it or to prevent it. So there's that. Also looks like Jaha may have found a shelter, possibly another bunker for them, and it looks like he takes Bellamy and Clark to go check it out. We also see the flame is going to be taken out. It show a quick cut of that, and it looks like Bellamy makes a reference to hell, and if there ever is one, he'd be seeing Jaha there. So it looks like some kind of disagreement is going to happen between the two of them. But based off the synopsis, though, for 403, it just reads that Jaha leads Clark and Bellamy down a road to possible salvation where tensions rise in Arcadia and Polis. Doesn't really give you much, but I kind of like it that way. Keeps me on my toes for that. But that's about it, guys. So what did you guys think of the episode? What did you guys like about it? What do you think is going to happen next? Let me know in the comments down below. I'd love to hear your own thoughts, theories, opinions about what you think is going to happen next. Also, here's another question for you guys. Last season, halfway through the season, I started doing my top 5 favorite moments. I'm wondering if you guys would like me to do that once episode 6 starts coming in. 'Cause you can't really do top 5 if you only show 5 or less episodes. So just let me know in the comments down below if you'd be interested in me continuing with that. And also, if you could like this video, subscribe to my channel, and check out my other videos if you haven't done so already. And also, if you want, check out my Tumblr page. The link for that is down below. I reblog promos, web clips, quotes, GIFs, synopses, news, all that good stuff, all in one place. So follow me there and check me out if you want access to all that good stuff. It's also attached to my WordPress account, which gives it a bit more organization, but that's a work in progress, and you can still find everything I post online attached to that account, so go check that out there. And I believe that's everything. So thank you so much for tuning in, guys. I hope you come back next week to hear what I have to say about the next episode. But until then, this is Mel, wishing you all a great day, great week, wherever you are. Bye for now.